talk about Coney Island. First off, the latest news from first responders is many injuries, but no fatalities. Small blessings. But we have got a lot of unknowns. Who perpetrated the attack? Who was the man who helped Spider-Man? I've got to be honest, folks. This is giving me not good flashbacks to the underground and Roxxon brawls of last year. Here's hoping that with 2 Spider-Men in town, we can steer away from more citywide chaos. Anyone who tells you these things happen for a reason should be cursed with wet socks. Forever.
Hello everyone, welcome to part 12 of Spider-Man 2. We're about to enter Sandman again and look for all of his memories, his crystals. They're scattered throughout the city and you need to, well, you don't technically need to find these things, these are purely optional. But if you find all of Sandman's crystals, then that unlocks a final memory, which you can actually complete the side quest with. So with this side quest, you can play as either Peter or Miles for this one, or alternate between the two. Miles does have the edge over Peter when it comes to combat with the Sandman, as his static can turn the sand into glass. Which reminds me of this TV show called 911. I think it was on NBC or CBS or something. This guy was buried alive in sand, and then all of a sudden, lightning strike. And it was pretty graphic too.
Maybe I'm being paranoid, but everywhere I go, I see them too. Work, the corner store, in the park. They're tracking us.
The hunters were after him. Marko said Kraven's gang would come for us. We should have listened.
Okay, so the show was on Fox, not CBS. My bad. And the show is called 911. I like you're calling 911 for help. And I watched that first episode and I was like, yeah, this is something my mom would definitely watch because she likes Law and Order type shows like that. And they're regular thugs with Sandman goons? Are you serious? I've never seen that before. That's interesting. Maybe it was supposed to be a scripted event, but I haven't seen it on the first playthrough, so I don't know. Anyway, I did pick up some new abilities off screen, one of which is shared by Peter and Miles, and that's going to be the wall kicking... I don't even know what you call that move. I just call it the wall kicking strategy. It kind of reminds me of the DS version of Web of Shadows, if anybody's ever played that version, where you're just standing on one hand and kicking the shit out of the person with alternating feet. But you're doing it on the wall this time. And speaking of Web of Shadows, I really wish that game was re-released. With the, well, I don't know about the DS version because you got 2 screens, that's going to be hard to emulate. But at least the PS3 and 360 version, I mean, come on. That was peak Spider-Man right there. I'd say Web of Shadows is probably my, well, now it's my 3rd favorite, right behind Spider-Man, Insomniac, and Spider-Man 2 from 2004.
All this trouble for a little crystal.
Cops if someone's out to get us, but they don't listen to me. No one ever does. Time to take matters into my own hands.
Kraven really forced Marko out of hiding after all these years.
Hey, I was just talking to my source at the rack. Marko's been belligerent and incoherent since he got there. But they said he's starting to show signs of improvement. Whatever you're doing with those crystals, keep it up.
And time for the next crystal. This one is, I believe, oh man, JJ!
The one about the criminal who went to prison and came out a better person? Me either! But that's what Quentin Beck would have us believe. After his numerous crime sprees, who could forget when he made Spider-Man look like a moron chasing an imaginary flying bus of school children while he made off with $2 million in diamonds? He finally landed himself where he belonged, behind bars. Now he's out and wants us to accept him back into society as a fully rehabilitated individual. Let me tell you something. I know one thing to be 100% certain. People do not change. Once a criminal, always a criminal. I don't know if this was a clerical error in our judicial system, but there is no way this man has paid his dues and repented for the damage he's caused. Do not trust this con artist. Attend his attractions at your own risk. And while we're at it, I could think of 2 other costume criminals that belong in prison with Beck. But that's for another podcast.
Some pretty cool attention to details on the buildings and the windows, so you can actually see the interiors for once, which is something I think GTA 6 will do. And as I was saying, this particular crystal is, I believe, in the Battery Park Financial District area in Manhattan, so not hard to miss. In fact, all of the crystals are going to be marked on the map. So doing the side quests really depends on whether or not you feel like doing the side quests and not so much stumbling upon these things. Which I actually like this design better than running around a sandbox. No pun intended. But it also depends on the game, because you got stuff like GTA, Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed, which I think benefits better from hiding a couple of side missions. Spider-Man, Batman Arkham, and actually the new RoboCop game benefits better from giving you the side missions and then giving you the choice of doing those side missions if you want to.
Time to check out this crystal.
It's my turn to follow them. Figure out who they are. I end up at this abandoned school in Harlem. And I'm already beginning to regret this.
Abandoned school? Sounds like one of Craven's bases to me. Poor guy didn't know what he was walking into.
As it turns out, Marko did not want to become the Sandman that day because, well, Kraven struck. And Kraven is indeed crazy enough to take on Sandman in full-on combat. You'll see Kraven's more unhinged personality when we see him again, and let's just say it's not pretty. In fact, I don't know whether or not he gets off to the chaos he causes, but then again, I don't think they want to raise the T rating to an M. It's implied. The sand clones come in 2 flavors. You got the ranged ones, and then you got the ones that just fight you head on. And for some reason, the ranged guys take a few more hits than the melee guns. And it's time I take you out with style. Nice form there. I give that a 10 out of 10 for the landing.
My name all over.
I find them, and they're waiting for me, with all sorts of weapons. What the hell have I walked into?
I get why Marko was anxious. Craven's toys freak me out too.
Alright, so what I'm gonna do here is switch to Pete for the sake of mixing it up a bit, I don't know. And despite being able to pick between Miles and Peter, you can only have Miles or Peter take on one Sandman area. Like, they can't team up to take on a single place for some reason. Which is kind of weird because the game was marketed as you could switch between the 2 Spider-Man at any time, but that's not really the case. So in a way, the character swapping is kind of like GTA 5, but at other points it's not. I think if and when the 3rd game comes out, the character swapping will be more fully realized. And who knows, maybe we'll have a 3rd character with us this time. Like Wolverine. No, that will never happen. Although I am excited for the new Wolverine game. It is going to be M-rated, so there's going to be blood and guts and all that good stuff. And it seems to take place in the Spider-Man universe, so that's good.
Should be all clear now.
Circling me, Mija. Oh, wishing I just stayed home with you, Mija. Helped you with your homework. Made you the one meal that I know how to cook. But it's too late now.
Marko fell right into their trap. Wait, Kimi is his kid? How did I not know about this?
Just check back in on Marko. He's steadily improving, making more and more sense. He's even eating again. Doctors are hopeful. Good work.
We're getting closer and closer to restoring Marko's sanity, but we're not done yet. I'm not going to be able to rely on electricity to take these guys out instantly. That's what I get for trying to show off both guys. However, there are some traps on certain occasions that can insta-kill the sand people. You got stuff like junction boxes and water pipes that will even the odds. You're trying to hide up there? Yeah, no luck.
Where's that sand crystal?
I ask them what they want, and all they say is, the beast inside me. But that ain't been me for a long time. Just like I promised you.
Marko gave up Sandman for his daughter. And Kraven forced it out of him for a stupid hunt.
Now, I have gone on record of saying that Sandman is one of my favorite Spider-Man villains. And yes, that is true. It's mainly due to his design as well as him not being an evil person, more so a desperate man. He's almost like Mr. Freeze in some aspects. Depending on the continuity, a family member, usually his daughter, is ill, and therefore Marko has to turn to a life of petty theft and crime in order to pay the bills. Here's the one thing that I think the Tobey Maguire / Sam Raimi films kind of messed up on, is that Marko actually killed Ben Parker. But never mind that we don't consider that canon.
All right, Marko. What's going on in that head of yours?
I tell them to leave us alone, but they don't care. They shoot me with a net, try to hold me down. I was sand before it. I'm so ashamed, but I had no choice. Gotta get back to you.
Marko had to do something.
But one day Marko found himself inadvertently experimented upon. On the molecular scale, Marko's genes were permanently changed. He can shapeshift as well as grow in size or shrink, kind of like Ant-Man except core, because Ant-Man kind of sucks. Now Flint Marko, that's the name for this Sandman, and the Tobey Maguire Sandman too, that's not his name in the comics. His name in the comics, or the Earth 616 comics, which I believe is just the original, is William Baker. Pretty much the same premise except different guy, or maybe even the same guy with a different name. I don't know, all these universes are kind of weird.
Finally.
I lose the crates.
Open up this crystal in peace.
Walk through the front door. You're not there. They are. What have they done to you, Kimia?
Kraven's real twisted for putting Marko's kid in the middle of all this. Gotta look for more crystals to find out what happened.
Marko's memory is returning and he's agitated. The doctors are piecing together what happened. It sounds like it's not all his fault. I'll let you know if I hear more.
Sorry to rain on your beach parade. But like I said before, Sandman is one of my favorite villains because he's not written to be the ultimate bad guy for once. I mean, sure, you got Green Goblin, who is completely evil. You got Venom, who in some cases is completely evil. Even though sometimes he's also an anti-villain, but I don't know. It depends on the writer. But you also need those morally gray bad guys who are not good, but not completely bad either. Except if he shoots Ben Parker. Okay, the Sam Raimi movies are kind of dumb sometimes. Even though I like those films.
Back to our regularly scheduled programming. Sand crystal time.
I start yelling, losing my cool. If they did anything to you, I can feel the sand about to take over. And then they splash me with some chemical. Don't know what it is, but trying my hardest to stay awake. I'm fading fast until I see black.
Must have used some strong stuff to knock out Sandman. But what happened to Kimia?
Let me rephrase that. Spider-Man 3 is dumb. That was mainly due to Sony's executive meddling when it came to Sam Raimi. You see, originally Sam Raimi did not want Venom in that movie. That was because Raimi was not familiar with the Venom character at the time. And also he wanted to finish the whole Green Goblin arc. So long story short, Venom was kind of underutilized in Spider-Man 3, worst of the trilogy by far. Still an enjoyable movie for sure, but goddamn, I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye. Or sand should suffice, I guess. It's equally as irritating to get in the eyeballs. Stuff's already easy to track in the house. You don't want that shit on your corneas. Oh yeah, and I'm playing as Captain America Miles now. Gotta have that electricity.
That was some angry
I wake
sand.
up in some kind of dungeon. Lots of empty cells around. You're not here. But are you okay?
Marko must have felt so helpless. Trapped. No idea where his daughter was.
So I have a question. What is your favorite and least favorite Spidey films? And animation counts, so you could say any of the Spider-Verse movies. I've been in the same minds as Into the Spider-Verse, and then Spider-Man 2, and then No Way Home, and then Across the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man 1, then Far From Home, and then everything below that is kind of like territory. So Spider-Man 3, the Amazing Spider-Man movies with Andrew Garfield, and then Homecoming. I actually really dislike Homecoming. I place it below the Amazing Spider-Man movies because at least with Amazing Spider-Man it's still somewhat fun. I find Homecoming really boring. I don't know why. And I truly don't know why. I want to love the film, but I just can't.
Those sand Markos are exhausting.
They say their boss is coming soon, and that he wants to meet me. I'm not waiting around. Sorry to break our promise, Kimi, but I'll tear this city apart to find you.
Marko thought Craven's people hurt his kid. And no wonder he went nuclear.
And that's every one of the crystals, so we should be getting a call from MJ pretty soon. But no, getting back on why I don't like Homecoming. Okay, there are some good parts to Homecoming, like the final fight scenes and Tom Holland, of course, he's amazing. And Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man is always amazing, even though it's not his movie, so he's kind of ball hogging Tom Holland's spot. I like Iron Man, but still, why is he here?
I gotta make sure she's safe. Maybe there's another crystal over by where Marko's memory shattered in the first place.
Yeah, there we go. Final mission unlocked. Or final Marko mission, not the true final mission. We still got 24 hours of playthrough left, or something of the sort. I don't know. I haven't counted the exact minutes of this whole entire Let's Play. You could tell I'm not even the biggest Marvel fan. I watch the movies, sure, but I'm not a big fan like that. I'm a big Spidey fan, though. I'm also excited for Deadpool versus Wolverine. Deadpool versus Wolverine. Wow, what is this? Well, they might fight depending on how things go in that film. But Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm excited for that film.
Where are my sandy friends? What the hell? Is that a ghost? Hello?
So we have to follow the glowing sand ball.
Crystal took me inside Marko's head.
I just need to know you're okay.
This shit is actually kind of creepy.
Those giant spikes, are they protecting the crystal? It's working. Need to keep it up. I don't think he wants us in here.
What you need to do to cure Rocco's rampage is throw rocks at that crystal, complete with rock puns.
Seen you wondering, Boulder.
Let's forego the corny rock puns. Now, there's going to be a lot of Marko clones just trying to swarm you. Do what you do best, which is why I got, yeah, I do have Miles here, so this is going to be way easier. You could do it with Pete's, but, you know. And the good thing is throwing the rocks will automatically aim for the crystal. You don't have to worry about aiming it yourself. You do have to worry about the Sandman goons just interrupting you, though. That's stupid. And it takes 3, maybe even 4 boulders to take out that crystal. It's not that difficult, to be honest. And it's actually pretty easy to crowd control. See, like, all these guys are stunned in one place. Which is why you want Miles Morales for convenience's sake.
Come on, almost there.
No, I wasn't expecting that. At least there's one boulder on standby just in case stuff like that happens. The game is nice enough to not soft lock you. Even though I don't think there is an option to even be soft locked at all. Considering you can actually exit the mission through going through the menu, forward thinking is a beautiful thing.
There it is.
Sweet! Let's pick up this final crystal.
I tried to be the best dad for you, Kimia. I really did. All I can do is hope they didn't hit you and that you're safe at your mom's. I love you so much, Mia. We'll be together again one day. I know it.
This just reinforces my hatred for the beach.
Hey, been calling you. My source at the raft told me Marko keeps repeating some address in Queens. Sending it to you now. I think you should check it out.
Her mom's. Maybe that's where Kimi is. Thanks, MJ. Any chance you can get a line to Marko at the raft?
Hang on while I look into it.
Kimi, I don't remember that being Sandman's daughter's name in that movie, but maybe I'm misremembering. I thought it was Lucy or something. But then again...
Hey, all set. Patching him through now.
Spider-Man. Sorry for my welcome mess. Thank you. You helped me get my mind right.
I'm sorry you got roped into all this. Think your daughter might have made it to her mom's. Heading there now.
If she's there, do me a favor. Give her those crystals. Something to remember me by.
You got it. Hope you get that normal life you wanted soon, Flint.
But then again, Sandman's name in the comic books was not Marko, so different names for different universes, I guess, when it comes to his daughter and stuff. Anyway, what we need to do to cap off this wonderful side mission is get the crystals back to Kimia. I almost called her Lucy again, shit.
Kimia? Who is it?
She's okay. Wish I could do more, though. Maybe Pete's lawyer friends could help bring this family together again.
Man, that's actually a really good side mission. Anyway, I'll see you guys for part 13 of Spider-Man 2. Peace and don't get swallowed by sand, please.